Hi guys, Togo here with a new video, and here we will talk about arcane mages. They got like their talents for Dragonflight, and we are going to preview it. Of course, big disclaimer, um, the talents itself may get a nerf, a buff, or even get removed because we saw some changes on the other talents, but the basic idea is still the same. You still have like this same archetype of builds that you can play as arcane, fire, frost, or whatever, but at least they will still do buffs and nerfs depending on how it can be or not be. We are going to preview it for PvP, so we are going to make the talent tree as much PvP as I can, and we are going to start right away. Of course, subscribe to the channel if you like PvP content. I do make a series on how to start with PvP on World of Warcraft, so you want to check that out, you can also check it out. It's on my playlist, and I'm still working on it. So let's start right away with Ice block. It is super important in PvP. I don't think there will be a situation where you're not taking ice block. I'll play with Shudder because the Cone of Cold is not really super interesting for Arcane, at least at first hand of sight. Let's go Shudder because I think the Shudder meta might be also available for Arcane, so let's play with this. I'll go for invisibility because we need to go down the tree. Remove curse because I want to go even more down because I feel like spell steal and slow is basically super important for arcane. We are going to do incantation of swiftness because I want to go further. I don't think grounding surge is a super valuable spell. It might be, depending on situations, but if you're playing versus classes, I guess you go for Grounding Surge. If you're playing versus melees, I would then go for Incantation of Swiftness. I'll go for Alter Time. I'll go for Incanter Slow, but you can really go for Rune of Power, so it's a choice node. You cannot have both, so I'll go for Incanter Slow for the easiness. And now you have the real choice. Do you want to have Mass Polymorph, or do you want to have Blast Wave? To be honest, I want to try an arcane mage that has a little bit of everything. So fire spells, frost spells, and then arcane spells. So I'll go for blast wave. I guess it might be interesting if you are getting kicked on arcane, that you have something to defend yourself by, for example, knocking them back or anything else really. So let's see even further beyond. That's haste. Haste is always good. And I guess we can go for a Master of Time. Master of Time is very good. Um, Here we have like also great choices. I feel like the improved Frost Nova is not that good, but Arcane Warding, the 3000% is not correct. It reduces magic damage taken. It is interesting versus Caster Cleaves, for example, but I don't know what's the real value for now. I'm not taking it. And I know Icy Flows and Shimmer are really great talents, but I'm going to skip over it because I feel I want to get a bit more south to get the good talents. So I want to still have mirror images, so we need to make a choice between Rigid Ice and Winter's Protection. I think I will go for Winter's Protection to get a reduced ice block, but you can also go for Rigid Ice, but you cannot take both because you will have not enough points to make the build I suggest to make. Let's go for Mirror Images. We will go for, you can go for Reabsorption or Reduplication, or if you really want Cryo Freeze. I feel like in trees you don't really need that, so I'll go for Reduplication. So basically, the cooldown is reduced by 10 whenever a mirror image dissipates due to direct damage. Sometimes it happens. I think AoE is also a direct damage. Actually, I don't know. If it's not, then I would go for reabsorption. We will need that because I really want Ice Nova. So I'll go for Tome of Ronin and I'll take Ice Nova. Alright, so now we have enough points to actually spend towards the interesting spells. So, to be honest, it is very difficult to make a choice. I feel like I will not take Master of Time. It will be very hard, but I'm not taking it. I'm going for Temporal Velocity because I want to have the middle choice. I'm not going to go further on the Shifting Power. It might be very strong, but I want to have other spells that might have really great like synergies with the build that I'm proposing. So I'll take the Your Barriers, heal you for 10% of the damage absorbed. It's very good. You can also take Tempest Barrier, but again, all those conduits that are very good in Shadowlands, they take a huge space on the talents section, so it's hard to actually choose all those talents without getting no points. Now we have like 6 points left. We can get Dragon's Breath, so basically it will give you an extra CC possibility even whenever you're kicked. So you can Dragon's Breath and then polymorph whenever you are kicked on Arcane. It will gain you enough time to recover the Arcane spell to actually do a polymorph, for example. Meteor, I don't know if I'm going for that, but I will go for Flow of Time, which basically reduces my blink CD by 1.5 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. So basically, you don't need Shimmer to be really very slippery. We can go for greater invisibility because it's very strong, and then we go for time anomaly because with all of this, I feel like if you get an arcane surge, a clear casting, or a time warp, it will be super useful. So that will be my build. So you will have a frost spell, you will have like a fire spell, you will have another fire spell to peel for you, and basically you will have a lot of utility. I feel like you could go for Master of Time, but again, I think the middle row is very interesting for Arcane and also for Frost, a bit less for Fire because they are like more setup based, but we're going to discuss it in the Fire video. So basically, whenever you're going to get kicked in Arcane and you are defenseless, you can still do Blast Wave, and then you can Ice Nova him, blink, get some space, and then go back to your damage rotation, for example. So I feel like all of this might be super interesting and might make Arcane usable again. So that would be nice. Arcane Barrage, of course. In the Arcane tree, we will go for Arcane missiles. We will go for Rules of Trees, basically giving you free Arcane Blasts or Arcane Missiles. Clear casting, we will do a clear casting build, more or less, because it feels like super strong. I'm going to discuss Arcane Surge right away, but let's get Impetus, because I want to go further to Amplification, basically making your Arcane missiles do shitloads of damage. And now let's discuss about Arcane Surge. So instead of Arcane Power, you will now have Arcane Surge. So basically it will do huge damage. You already see the spell power and the multiplication of the spell power. It will do a lot of damage. And it will also do on based on mana spent. So often what you will do is probably Frost Nova, Polymorph, Arcane Surge, and basically it will be like a combust because you will have a lot of damage. You will recover all your mana, of course, in the next 12 seconds, but you will do a lot of damage right away. And if you can also combine it with a clear casting, for example, you can do Arcane Surge and then directly go for Arcane Missiles, for example, or Arcane Barrage, or whatever, like big spells that can actually do a lot of damage. So we'll go for Arcane Surge. We'll go for improved arcane missiles because I feel like it's going to be a very good build for that. And now we have a lot of choices. We will of course do arcane power, so it will grant increased spell damage and it will last a lot longer too, so it's very good. We'll go for amplification because like I said, I wanted to have a build doing a lot of damage with arcane missiles, improved clear casting, and I feel like I'm not going to take a reverberate because it's more of a PvE talent. Consuming clear casting increases the damage of your next two arcane blasts, which is a very good combination with presence of mind. So we need improved arcane barrage to get presence of mind, so we'll get it too. Foresight is a PvE talent because again, standing still for 10 seconds will be super hard, and it is not worth it to stand still for 10 seconds than to be able to cast while moving. Looks a bit like a useless spell to take. But Slipstream is very good because whenever you're clear casting, your clear casting allows to actually arcane missile while moving, so that would be nice. Also, evocation can be channeled while moving, and we are going for evocation right away. We'll take Supernova because it is a CC potential, and it's always nice to have CC potential, so we'll take that. Now you see, we will need to sacrifice utility spells. I mean power spells for utility to get Touch of the Magi, and Touch of the Magi is very strong. So let's get improved Prismatic Barrier, which reduces magical damage taken by an additional 5%, and the duration of harmful magic effects by 10%. So warlocks will be very happy to hear that. Enlightenment, of course, works like the talent from Shadowlands. I think it also exists in PFA, but for Shadowlands at least it exists 100%, so you take that. And of course you will get Touch of the Magi. Now you have enough points to also expand a point to Chrono Shift, which basically increases your movement speed, but also slows the enemy team. So it's also very good. Now, the interesting part. You will have a lot of talents that can actually bait you into something that you would not want. Um, I know Arcane Orb is pretty interesting, does quite alright damage, and also it regenerates your arcane charges easily. But if you're going this route, you will miss those spells, like for example Radiant Spark, which is super strong as an arcane mage, and also you get the legendary effect, which is Harmonic Echo, which is also super strong. You will also miss maybe concentration, and Arcane Harmony basically will give you one-shot potential. So for me, it looks like I'm going to go for the obvious option, which is going into the middle, going on the right side, and take the evocation, because evocation is super interesting and super necessary for arcane mages in PvP. So we'll take evocation, we'll take arcane bombardments, so basically it will increase 50% of the damage of the arcane barrage. Might be a tooltip error because it is written against targets below 100% of health and looks like a bit redundant, so I feel like it will change to the 100% increased damage to Arcane Barrage, for example. Radiant Spark, of course, very strong. I'll take Harmonic Echo. I will not take Arcane Echo because it breaks CC. I don't want to have things that break CC. And basically, I don't like improved Arcane Barrage, but we have to do that for getting Presence of Mind, which is actually a very strong spell to have. Now we have 5 points left, and you have a lot of options. I will go for Illuminated Thoughts, so Cleargrassing gets a 10% increased chance to proc. I'll get Concentration, which basically gets you a chance to not consume a clear casting and obliterate someone whenever you're going to try to consume that. Arcane Harmony, again, it will be very strong because you will combine the execute effect, which is Arcane Bombardment, with the Arcane Harmony damage that actually is also super strong as a legendary in Shadowlands. So you basically get two legendaries working with each other, and I feel like some people will just blow up instantly. So let's go for Arcane Harmony, and you have 1 point left, and that 1 point left that you have, you can spend it however you want. You can, of course, put a point in Prodigious Savant, but it's not enough. You can go for Conjure Mana Gem, but do I want that? I don't know. I don't feel like it's super useful for me. And for me, I think I will go for the good old Siphon Storm. So basically, whenever you're doing an evocation, you will get your intellect increased by 2% every second, and it lasts for 30 seconds. So basically, you will have a 60% intellect boost after 30 seconds. So it will be very, very strong. Excuse me, I read it incorrectly. So while you're in evocation, you evocate, and that's 6 seconds. Those 6 seconds times 2% will be 12%. My bad. It is not 60%. I'll just take it back. So it's still very strong, 12%. It works like the legendary, I think, that people play to get the one shots. So this is my build. Basically, I'll go for the arcane barrages, the arcane missiles. So pretty much you are super mobile. You will do a lot of damage combined with Touch of the Magi and then Radiant Spark, and then pretty much you're going to blow up someone. You can also have Presence of Mind to help you with the Arcane Blasts, which does also a lot of damage whenever you have consumed a clear casted spell. Arcane Surge will be your burst CD, and that will be also satisfying to play. I think it will play a bit the same as a Combust Fire Mage, but with a combination with a bit of frost mage with the consistent great damage that you can have with arcane blasts, arcane barrage, and arcane missiles. So I don't know. Let me know what you think about this build, because I think if I played Arcane Mage, I would play this build 100%. I feel like you can go for shifting power, but then you will lose time anomaly basically, and then you can win, I guess, Master of Time, because you're going to remove temporal velocity. But it all depends versus who you're playing. If you're playing versus someone that actually purchase a lot, I feel like Master of Time has not too much value. Dragon's Breath, I feel like it's too strong to not take as an arcane mage, so I would just take that. And yes, you can go for Ring of Frost, but you can also basically go for Mass Polymorph, which is basically the same. So I'm excited to see the builds that people are going to play with Arcane, because I feel like Arcane might just do a comeback. And yeah, if you're not ready, you're going to suffer from it. So thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate you. For sure, like the video if you like the video. Comment in the section below if you want to explain me if you are playing another build or not. I'm kind of lost with my words because I'm not really concentrated. Of course, check my series that I'm making for an introduction for WoW PvP. If you're not known with WoW PvP, that introduction might help you decide what class, what role, how to improve, and a lot of actual topics are going to be discussed in that series. So thank you for watching. Have a great day, and we will see each other very soon. Bye.